Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the Akim Akwath, learning and teaching of truth and sincerity. Alright, now firstly, our Lord Yahushai, he didn't have dreadlocks. You know, that's a heathenistic hairstyle. And us as men, us as Israelite men, we don't adorn feminine long hair, you know, touching down to your ass, you know. So I'm just dealing with that. But I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen, you know, recently this had got back in the news, because if I remember correctly, that video had dropped like a year ago, but just got back popular in the news. The fact that you know, I'm just read it, right? It says people on social media are blown away after seeing Putin open an ancient box, and it says Jesus appears to be black. So I'll let it play, and I got a couple of clips. So basically, he showed, which is something that we already knew, the fact that the Messiah, Yahushai Mashiach, right, who they call Jesus Christ, he's a dark-skinned man. More specifically, what you would call today Negro or black, so-called African American. If he walked the earth, he would appear to be one of the descendants of the slaves of West Africa who made their way over, you know, over here to the Western world, right? And that bothers the so-called white man and most people on the planet of the earth because of the massive mistreatment that they have done to so-called Negro, Latino, Native American people. All right, if you have mistreated his people, what will he do when he returns? Okay, so let's take a look. Actually, okay, you know, that's the clip right there in a smaller form, but I have it right here.
Today, Vladimir Putin reveals to the world a secret that European has been hiding from African for more than a millennium, that Jesus was black.
So right there.
Today, Vladimir Putin reveals to the
right there, you can, damn it.
The world a secret.
You can see that there's a dark-skinned character right there in that box. Matter of fact, so dark that you can barely see him because the room is dark. How about that? And it lines up with what many Israelites, how they've been described phenotypically, meaning, you know, their outside appearance, right? The people of the Bible are not today white people. The big lie that has been given throughout the world. So-called pale-skinned, blue-eyed, blonde-haired people, which now you do have Israelites that are on the outside that have the appearance of other nations that look so-called white, so-called, you know, Asian, you know, motherfuckers from Nepal, right? Jake somehow had left him a baby in Nepal. But mass majority, we are the dark-skinned, mistreated people on the face of the planet Earth, and that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. All right, and we're going to be going to YouTube here in a second as well. All right.
Today,
and they don't like this. They don't like that one of their own exposed that information either. In which, you know, Putin, he still, you know, we ain't giving that nigga no, you know, he gonna. Russia gonna get blew up to, not blew up, but Russia's gonna get put into subjection as well. But it's well known that the Eastern world still has the remnants and the evidences of the truth of the ancient world. All right, compared to over here in the Western world, Esau, Edom over here, they did a very good job at lying and stealing and killing to distract and to take away from the truth. Okay, and if it wasn't important, then why did they lie about how the Lord looks and how the true chosen people look? Okay, so let's go to this verse. We'll go to that Psalms, basic scripture. All right, these we'll start because his own people are exposing these kinds of things. Psalm 64 and 8. So shall they make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Okay, so he snitched on himself in this instance. All right, and you know, he's fleeing away in the sense of them not wanting to accept it. As a matter of fact, when you go to some of the comments, you see Jake in there. They're like, man, let me see. Right here. The first comment up top, it says, surprise, surprise, we already knew he was copper skinned with hair like wool. Ain't no white person meeting that description naturally. Right here. That second one, it says, Florida about to ban all ancient boxes now. Third one, who was he hiding that from? Because us black folks have been knowing. All right, so basically, and by way of the prophets out there teaching, Jake out here acting like they knew, man, shut up. All right, y'all know by way of the prophets teaching. Now there was one, okay, right here, this one. She says, if you really read the history of the intentional, I'll correct it, and marketing behind white Jesus, your mind would be blown. All right, and she's referring to Caesar Borgia, him being propped up and promoted to be the new image given to the world. When you look into it, you realize that this man lied. Let's see. There was a particular comment I saw last night. This ain't the one, but you had basically, and I believe it was a nigga. Oh, it don't matter what his skin is. It's the message. And then somebody, is getting on them. Well, if it doesn't matter, then why did they change it? It does matter because it's the truth, and you can't preach none of the truth with a lie. All right, and that's the mindset of, especially the slave minded of our people. They immediately go to defend or do damage control for Esau, Edom. Right here it says, white people across the nation just became atheists. So, hey, they going at it in the comments. They going back and forth in the comments. Let me see. Oh, right here, okay. It says, then who's the white nigga we've been seeing everywhere? That's a part of the deception. Because if they can make you worship, if they give you your own oppressor to worship, then you'll look down on yourself, and you'll look at your oppressor as the pinnacle of society and being, and you'll always be obedient to him, because if he looks like God, then he's closer to God. So we gotta shut up and do what we're told. All right, it's all a part of the lie. It's all a part of the lie. So now, let's go to this. For a Christian, well, it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter. Well, let's see what the scriptures say. The truth matters. All right, John. What is that? Yep, 4:24. It says, Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So if you're not worshiping him in truth, then your worship is faulty. Okay, so it does matter. It does matter. All right. Now let's also let's go to YouTube real quick. I got a couple more verses. And so look at these images. Where did these images come from? We didn't create these. Vocab. Hebrew Israelites didn't go run around, paint some biblical images, muddy them up, throw dirt on them to try to make them look hundreds of years old. These images were existing before any of us did in our current life. You have to explain this. Where did they come from? Why have they been hidden? Where were they put? Okay.
ever seen or heard of biblical icons where Jesus or the Virgin Mary have dark skin? Or even Abraham or King David? Then look beyond Europe. Russia has opened its vaults to reveal biblical icons featuring darker-skinned figures. In case this is making you wonder if Russia has its own twist on biblical figures, the answer is a no. This is not the case at all. This is, a matter of fact, as real as the untouched horizon of time. These icons aren't just artistic anomalies. These hold deep meanings of hidden shaded truths, sparking serious, curious questions about history and faith, representation, and the unexpected corners of religious art. Pay close attention, amazing people. You are just about to hear it today, like it is, in this video. Before we continue, kindly endeavor to hit that like button as a way of supporting our work.
Salakia.
Works.
Matter
Share.
of fact, I'm gonna use that for the yeah, untold truth, baby. They don't like it. And once again, our Lord doesn't have dreadlocks. That's, you know, AI made image right there.
Share with your families and friends to keep spreading our eye-opening black narrative, and subscribe to Stay Put for more, while you help in building the rising membership of this channel. We appreciate your support. First and foremost, let's start with the person of the most popular name in the world today, Jesus. Mark chapter 4 verse 22. For there is nothing hidden which shall not be manifested, neither anything kept secret that would not be brought to light. For centuries, the most common image of Jesus Christ, at least in Western cultures, has been that of a bearded, fair-skinned man with long, wavy, light brown or blonde hair, and often blue eyes. But the Bible doesn't describe Jesus physically, and all the evidence we do have today indicates that he probably looked very well different from how he has long been portrayed. The Good Book offers few clues about Christ's physical appearance. Most of what we know about Jesus comes from the first 4 books of the New Testament, the Gospels of Matthew, Mark.
And that's, hey, there's plenty of clues. There's Revelation 1, there's Daniel 10, Daniel 7, describing the Father. There's plenty of clues. The problem is that Double E doesn't want to accept them because it breaks his narrative that he's the chosen people. All right, Songs of Solomon 1, Job 30 and 30, right? There's plenty of clues, but those clues get in the way, you know, when you're trying to lie to the whole planet Earth and tell everybody, you know, you're the best thing since sliced bread, right? But he's not, when actually Esau Edom's complexion is described as a curse.
Luke and John. According to the Gospels, Jesus was a Jewish man born in Bethlehem and raised in the town of Nazareth in Galilee, formerly Palestine, now northern Israel. During the 1st century, we know that Jesus was about 30 years old when he began his ministry. So tells us.
So they're just talking. I want to fast forward to the. They was gonna show the part. Salakia.
The war has intertwined politics and religion. The icon depicts the oak of Mamre, where the 3 angels visited Abraham in the book.
And I just did a video recently with dealing with the altar of Mamre. All right, but right here you're seeing these dark-skinned people clearly, and it's not because the pictures were buried under dirt and they were old, like the punk-ass scholar. Oh, they were old. They were painted dark because they're dark-skinned people.
Of Genesis.
Did you notice anything about these icons on display? They are all black. Icons dating back to the 14th century, brought together from private collections across Russia. Rare and strongly challenging masterpieces, most of which were destroyed during the Soviet era. It's very beautiful. It gives...
most of which were destroyed during the Soviet era. So there's been several periods of iconoclasm that Esau has performed to get rid of the true images.
Goose pimples. It's a remarkable exhibition.
It's an exhibition which feeds the senses. Everything is so grey outside at the moment, and here suddenly it's a feat.
And I'm gonna go get that clip because that's a whole separate clip in and of itself.
Studios have again opened and are painting in a variety of styles for the local and international market. Many older, hidden icons have also been retrieved from hiding or brought back from overseas.
The Castel San Angelo in Rome is currently hosting an exhibition of 40 Russian icons that have left their country for the first time. They are pieces of art that were hidden after the October Revolution of 1917 in order to protect them from anti-religious destruction.
Soprattutto è la prima volta che it's the first time that a large number of Russian icons have come here to Italy. In addition, here are a dozen examples that have never before been moved. They appear for the first time in our catalog.
Icons are usually painted on wood and meant to represent saints or sacred elements. The Orthodox tradition considers them as if they were the gospel, inspirations of God through the hand of the artist. Their deep symbolism is reflected from the meaning of icon as a representation or vision from another world.
So, I was just letting you see some of those images. And now we know through the scriptures that Esau and the heathen, it was told that they would take and replicate them, repaint our images and their appearance, which they did in the time of the Maccabees. All right, and that's just one time. They've done it. They've done it since we've been here. All right, every time they could. All right, First Maccabees 3:48. You already know. It says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. All right, this is when the Maccabees were reclaiming the temple. All right, they went in there and they seen this is dealing with the Greeks, so you can imagine they seen Edomites taking on the appearance of their forefathers. All right, and that's another thing, y'all. Now here it is, y'all. All these, every culture has its paintings. You got the Asians, they got them, their old, so-called samurai paintings. The East Indians got their paintings. Arabs got their paintings. But why can't we find a whole heap and crap ton of Hebrew paintings and images? Why? Because just like we heard from this story, they've been hidden. They go and take them and put them in vaults because they don't want that truth out there. You got to think, now it said that we can't make images to worship in the law, but it never says we can't have images in general. Otherwise, this scripture wouldn't have occurred. So we're allowed to have images and paintings and sculptures. When you deal with the temple itself, inside the Holy of Holies, you have the two cherubims, the two angels with wings facing each other. You have ox statues outside. You have the pomegranate, right? Lions painted over with gold. So we had images and statues. We just were not supposed to worship them. So where are they all at? Esau, Edom. That's where they're all at. He's taken things and hid them because it's inconvenient to his lie.
Is reflected from the meaning of icon as a representation or vision from another world. The wood evokes the Holy Cross through its gold background, divine light, and the cloth attached.
So I'm gonna fast forward. Oh, right
The
here.
wood evokes the cloth that covered the body of Jesus Christ.
È un'importanza notevole e fondamentale. Without a doubt, they have a great importance and a fundamental recognition in Russia, because the icons represent for Russia what the pyramids represent for Egypt, or the temples to the Greeks.
The exhibition shows icons ranging from the 15th century until the early 20th century. It's a rare opportunity to see the religious soul of Russia through its...
There's been so much debate going on around the world of late, bestirred by the unveiling of these black biblical icons. Some tend to think that the icons had blackened over time due to age, while others say that the blackness of the icons has nothing to do with age, but are a measure of accuracy meant to depict the actual color of the skins of the people painted. Because they were black people, says Robert Rubin.
Simple as that. And now this guy with a last name like that, he might be an Amalekite, but it looks like he's telling the truth.
Why didn't their clothes change to black in those paintings, or all of the paintings? The true Israelis were black-skinned people, not white.
Ooh. And Israelites is the term.
Likewise, the ancient Egyptians.
Yup, the ancient Egyptians were those tall, dark-skinned Hamites who've been displaced and knocked south into Sudan, as our apostles have taught us. And you see it when you look, all right? The people who are in Egypt now are a combination of Arabs. Different Arabs and Edomites have claimed over the land of Egypt today.
The Rishat structure in Mauritania is also the location of Atlantis.
Now that part he going off on ain't some damn Atlantis.
Russians did not change their paintings just as other countries did. They simply kept the true paintings and iconography. Look up ancient maps and you will see that the Kingdom of Judah was later located in West Africa.
And y'all have seen that. Judah in West Africa, where we were taken up from, and Levi.
The Jewish nation was destroyed by Titus. Millions of Jews fled into Africa. They ended up in the west of Africa. From there, they were sold as slaves to almost every part of the world. Do you think the hatred for black people is just normal or a coincidence? No. It was because they, Israelis, did not keep the commandments of God. Moses informed them of the blessings and curses, as we can see in the Bible book of Deuteronomy. God told them they will lose that land to people whom they did not know if they disobey him. The hatred for the black children of Ham and Shem is because the children of Shem have mixed up with the children of Ham. They are both black-skinned. The prime target of this hate is actually the children of Shem. Shem is being punished for his disobedience to his God.
Wow. So he went in. The fact that the children of Shem, which Israelites, now there are many children of Shem, but Israelites is the chosen line that came out of Shem, and the children of Ham, we both share the dark skin appearance. But we're not hated and mistreated just because we're dark skinned. We're hated and mistreated because we're the chosen people. And this is one of their own, once again, a whistleblower telling the truth.
Another insightful one from Johnson here says, because black people were the people in the Bible that the Americans turned white when they told the stories to us. But Russians didn't get the memo. They went off for real history. Songs of Solomon. Chapter 1 verse 5. Revelations chapter 1 verse 15. Go check it out. It's in the text. It's not because of a candle or anything else these people are talking about. In that case, the whole picture would be black. Not just the face and the hands. They are meant to be black because they were black people. This great USA is also a great deceiver. And so many people inherit the wrong lesson from their great-grandparents and their parents, to the point where it's so deep that the lie is made true when the real answer is really just right there. But you never look, because why would you? The Russian unveilings didn't stop there.
So, hey, man, that dude, Robert Rubin, went in. Now, let's fast forward. You got all these images. I could play the whole video. You got plenty of imagery.
Angels, black angels. The people surrounding him are black.
I mean, you can't make this up. I want to get where is that? Where is that? Let me see.
Is from around the world, he said, who did not portray Jesus as white. You go into their churches and you don't see a white Jesus, you see a black Jesus or Chinese Jesus or a Middle Eastern Jesus, which is of course the most accurate. Welby added that the representations of Jesus were not, however, who we worship, but rather served as a reminder of the universality of God who became fully human. Addressing calls for monuments with links to the UK's imperialist history and slave trade to be removed, he said statues in Canterbury Cathedral would be put under review. The question about whether they should all be there arises, of course it does, and we've seen that all over the world. He continued, we're going to be looking very carefully and putting them in context and seeing if they all should be there, says Justin Welby. In closing,
so, you know, and that's part of that Esau,
who did not portray Jesus. Yes, of course it does, he said. BBC Today program. Welby was asked whether the way the Western Church portrays Jesus needed to be thought about again and reimagined. Yes, of course it does, he said, adding that Jesus was portrayed differently in countries around the world. He was regularly in...
And that's a, you know, it's a crock of shit. So he said, yeah, well, we'll get to it. And then go on about their day. And that's the spirit of E. He's not going to get to it because he hates and despises the truth. All right, because it exposes him. All right, I'm going to get that in Luke. In which, hey, y'all know plenty of the scriptures, the color scriptures, right? I'm just bringing out this information. It's becoming more and more well known. All right, you can't hide it. You can't stuff it in a box anymore. The truth is out. All right, Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. All right, so the truth is out. And more importantly, you know, beyond these clips, beyond the paintings, the truth is in the scriptures in and of itself. A verse to start it off. All right, Revelation 1:13. And in the midst of 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girded about the paps with a golden girdle. So you had a man on with a long garment. He had golden girdle around his waist, a belt, a protector. standing behind or standing near the 7 candlesticks, right? Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So his head, the hairs on his head and his facial hair, right? Beard, mustache, said they were white and in color, and the texture was that of wool. What people famously have woolly hair on earth? Negroid people, specifically, as y'all call us today, black people. All right, and his eyes were red as a flame of fire. The whites of his eyes were red. All right, according to prophecy, Genesis 49:12, his eyes should be red with wine and his teeth white with milk. All right, red eyes. It's inducive of an emotional state. All right, when you drink a lot of alcohol, you all geeked up, you get bloodshot. You get angry, you geeked up, your eyes get bloodshot. And it's famously known to happen among black men. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So the tops of his feet, the skin of his feet were black. Not only black, but so black as if they burned in a furnace. So he's described as being an extra crunchy, extra crispy, dark-skinned man for a reason. And I got one more clip I want to show. Where is it at? It's only about a minute long. It's when they go to were the ancient Israelites black? Yes. And then not the... See, America has given y'all today what a black person is. Nigga sagging, blunt in his mouth, ain't raising them babies, so-called, right? The black woman, overweight, out of shape, loud mouth. No, that's not what we have always been. That's what, oh my gosh, dude, come on, bro. Come on, yo. Fuck out of here. That's why people have a problem with it. When they think of black, they're thinking of us in our fallen estate, not in our royal estate, which we will return to soon by Yahweh Shai, by him getting us there when he returns, beginning with the elect. Rare Russian icons on display in Moscow.
Icons dating back to the 14th century, brought together from private collections across Russia.
It's very beautiful. It gives you goose pimples. It's a remarkable exhibition.
It's an exhibition which feeds the senses. Everything is so grey outside at the moment, and here suddenly it's a feast for the eyes.
And it's a feast that marks 100 years since religious icons started to be recognized as works of art. Before then, they were mainly viewed as religious objects, often left blackened over the centuries by the passage of time and added layers of paint.
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered underneath an overwhelming beauty.
So the images were even darker, y'all. When we learned how to remove the dark layers, so that she snitched on herself, and they were still that dark. So imagine how dark they truly was. The dark layers of what? On their skin. They ain't talking about over the red and the green and the building. They talking about of the skin. Come on now.
To such an extent that it shocked Andre Matisse, who was in Moscow at the time. He said, it's here that artists should come to learn to paint, not to Italy.
But today, only a small number of these masterpieces remain. Most were destroyed during the Soviet era.
These icons are the survivors. If museums hadn't saved them, they wouldn't exist today. There are 50,000 icons in Russian museums. Before, there were millions.
But now the future of this part of Russian heritage is up for debate. Are the icons best held by museums, or should they be returned to the country's churches?
So come on now, y'all. Joseph, Yahweh Shai, Mary, right? Afro, beard, her head's covered. Okay, and that's what we're about to go back to. That's what we're about to go back to. So that's about it, y'all. I just wanted to highlight this. The truth is out. We don't got too much longer to go. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Rakakurash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all like the Akim wa Akwath, learning, teaching, truth, and sincerity. Shalom.